the fact is that the ground is touching you. And the suggestion is to maintain the central body part more central. Also, someone we care about restricting the range of motion in the central body part does not mean that we cannot move there, but we just we put certain censorship on the range of motion. So definitely the 100%, so to say, full range of motion, it's out of our repertoire. Unless done very deliberately for a specific purpose. So the fact is that the ground is touching me. And another fact is that the body is massaging the ground or pressing into the ground. So we care about these two facts. We want to be sensitive to the ground touching me and me massaging the ground. And I try to maintain focused attention on these two facts. We do care about the spacious spine, meaning if we take the entire spine, the top of the head and the tail, we want to spread, we want to open the space in between the vertebrae. In many situations, having the pelvis dangling down and having the head being floating up. presence of others is a disturbing factor. It's a disruption to my concentration, to my grounding. And now I have to be busy with someone else, which before I could have been busy with myself. Hopefully being busy with someone else will not corrupt my being. I can still stretch. Which stretching we redefine as a particular physical sensation, and more of an action of local spreading rather than following off certain postures. I can maintain the stretch, the spreading, and experiencing the local sensation that we call stretching, even when I'm dancing, performing, or partnering with others. Just anytime I can change the texture of the body, locally or globally, so I can harden myself deliberately. Not knowing if this is good or bad, and actually not needing to know if this is good or bad, because I can just do it, I can engage, I can observe, and wear 12 kilo vest while changing the muscular tones towards the harder side or towards the softer side. Good, so welcome to the presentation of 1 month study event. The title of the workshop is Crafting Movements. So that's what we gave attention to. So meaning looking how to write steps, but today I realize it's not even writing steps. It's more writing like a slices, like cut into a word, and looking at it, what is it made of? Certain parameters, certain elements. So maybe this is not correct to start to say what we didn't do, but I will do it. So we definitely, this was not about dancing. And this was not about group composition. And this was definitely not about performing. This was not about choreography. this was about crafting movements. So the elements I'm presenting, like the fact that the floor, the ground is touching me, or if I press into the ground, I'm being pushed back. Yeah, so it was really about these parameters, elements, and we use them to describe what we are doing, and we use them also to compose the slices of the words. Definitely not phrases, definitely not dances, and definitely not performances. So I decided to present. And then there is a moment of now. So this was a very individual and solitary event for 1 month, even though the others were there. And there was an option to kind of connect to anyone at any time, but it was not my concern. And there was a possibility to perform any time, but it was not of my concern. It was a possibility of an application of the work. Then we have a procedure, we call it a silent dance, which means that we were observing and choreographing, same thing, observing and choreographing what is not moving, the relationships in the body, or sometimes the relationship body to the space that is not changing, so that we call this silence. So for example, if we all get up and if we stand on one leg, our concern was trying to maintain the standing foot quiet. So that's what we would call silent dance. That the foot is actually quietly touching the ground without any changing of the relationship, not pressing more front, not pressing more back, not in, not out. So we could call it foot as a silent leg. And this rule is valid until I decide to change it. So watching this performance could be that you just watch the feet of performers and see how they interact with the ground and if the foot is really quiet or not. And we had some challenges in the vocabulary, like moving on one leg. So we were writing over the maps. And we came up with, or I came up and pushed it on students. We call it a list of ongoing subjects to do anytime, anywhere, all the time. So I could be on stage, I could be dancing, but I don't have to be dancing. The cult of growing plant says about the type of spaciousness of the body that could be maintained anytime. Anytime. Sorry. Silent dance, choreographing of what is not moving, or the stillness part of the motion that is usually disregarded or not giving attention to. Hard and soft, the textural element that could be managed and modified anytime. So we used to say you can harden your buttocks anytime you want, sitting on the chair or dancing or performing. It's a transportable element. Orchestration of the range of motion with, I forgot to write, forbidden of 100% full range of motion, certain restrictions. Ground touch, the fact that we are touching the ground and the interaction with the ground. It's not only the fact that the body is pressing into the ground, but I can even deliberately push and pull into the ground, so the walk will do this way. I can pull myself forward. I press and pull, I press and pull, I press and pull. I can push myself off, or I can pull myself forward. So I can add this to anything what I'm doing. I just finished the list, it's a little bit long. And the experience of a partner interfering with my being. And when we work individually, there is no danger, and I keep a safe distance from everyone. But as soon somebody goes by, I start to calculate with the partner, so we put it to our ongoing concerns. Aligning with the gravity and the ground reaction force. What goes down goes up. What goes down goes up. What goes down goes up. Dosages, scales, durations, and who am I, what do I stand for, where am I coming from, and going to as everlasting concern to give the context to everything what we do. So if I would say, let's lie down on the ground, maybe let's do it. Let's just lie down on the ground. I would have to put it into the context of who am I, what do I stand for, where am I coming from, and where am I going to. Some kind of memory of all my experiences before, and the projection of where is this going to. If I would be lying here for 20 minutes, what would that bring? Where is this heading to? Voila. So I think you get a nice idea, and then later I will display all the maps that people are doing. Writing subjects. This is my map. Good, and last thing I'm going to say, and then we're going to do a session for a while, that usually when we were nicely installed in the subject, and we can start to develop our work further and further. Once we were nicely developed and nicely installed in the subject, we brought the music, others, and dance as a disturbing factors. So the partnering as a way to distract me, to take away my attention, rather than cooperative dance type of partnering. So we often call the partner an opponent or distraction force. The music as the unwelcome tsunami that is just ruling me over and muffling or coloring every experience and every movement that I do. And the dance is a very specific area that is actually hard to go into once I'm concerned about working, about subjects, about performing. So we said performing is not dancing, and studying is not dancing, and teaching is not dancing, and rehearsing is not dancing, and creating is not dancing. So actually we are not dancing. So I left the concern out of this room, because So now we're going to bring the music, and we're going to do it for a little moment. So let's see how this is going to corrupt us. Yeah, we have an extra performer, so we invited each quantities. Lou was playing with the ball. Just to stay attentive and keep my eyes open when we are keeping the same bubble of working. So just to be there at any moment, so that's the experience of a partner or external forces working on us. This is a playlist that was made 6-7 months ago. Our little son made it, so we listen to it a lot, so I just go along.
Just came close to each
each other and we were pushing, pulling on each other. And using each other as a challenging factor to test our ground. So the fact of pushing and pulling into the ground and pushing and pulling into the partner actually creates a clear circuit of transmission. So what comes into the ground comes out of the ground, and what comes into the partner comes out of the partner. We are helping each other by creating certain challenges, disturbances, with definite need of maintaining the movement potential or certain unlocking or defreezing. So it means that the entire body is available for the motion, even though if it's producing a lot of force, transmitting into the ground, supporting the partner. We maintain the foot ground contact very quiet for the clear transmission. And if it's a dancer doing this score, it could be dancing. And if it's a performer doing this score, it could be performing. And if it's a tripper doing this score, it's tripping. And if it's a healer doing this score, it's actually retrieving the potential to heal for certain type of treatment or rehabilitation. The functionalities are not inherent properties of the elements, like the fact that we are touching the ground. Could be used as a skillful element, as an experiential, sensational element, as a functional element of the transmission, or many others. Okay. Thank you very much.
Martin and all the students, and also thank you Sarah and friends, and for all of you to experience what we just saw, and then welcome to studying Tic Tac 1 more hour. Thank you.
So Sarah plus friends was Sarah plus Sophie and Solène.